What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised.
If you thought LA was only for movie celebrities, think again. With the emergence of TikTok, video creators, Instagram influencers have all joined forces to boost the number of their followers, all while hanging out together. The Hype House was the brainchild of Thomas Petrou and Chase Hudson, who, in 2019, decided to invite all of the famous TikTokers in their LA mansion. To top it all off, they made their own YouTube channel where they get around 2 to 3 million views per video. But today, we wanted to take a look at the organization structure of the Hype House and see how Thomas Petrou rules the Hype House like a dictator. Let's go! A bit of backstory. Before we get into talk about the man behind the whole project in detail, let's look at the history of Thomas Petrou and how he got involved in content creation. As you might already know, he tried making it as a Vine creator when he was only 13 years old, and he and his cousins created a Vine account called the Petrous. Little things became big, and one of his cousins got into big trouble, which made Thomas shut down his Vine account. When he was 16, he pursued a modeling career, but that didn't really work out. He then blazed a new trail as a YouTuber, which made vlogs about his life, his college application, and tips regarding fitness. And then, in 2017, things really seemed like they picked up. He was affiliated with Team 10 during the summer, when he lost his job, and when he had nowhere to run, he turned to his then friend, Daisy Keach. The problems with Daisy Keach. There was a big problem with one of the co-founders of the Hype House that Thomas was not expecting. The story went like this. Thomas was working for Daisy Keach after he had left Team 10 and he had no job. She hired him to be her personal photographer, as well as her YouTube video editor. She was so content with his work that after 4 months of working for free for Daisy, she decided to hire him and pay Thomas like $250 per week for editing, photography, and social media management. As his following on social media grew, so did his appetite. He and Chase Hudson decided to open a club where all of the famous influencers and social media stars would hang out, shoot videos, and have a blast doing so. He said he had this idea ever since he was part of Team 10. They finally agreed on the idea and went looking at all sorts of different listing sites looking for the perfect house to rent. They found the current house and it was placed at around $23,000 per month, but knowing that they needed to pay first and last month's rent on it, it turned out that the house would cost them around $46,000 in total. Each of them put $18,000 and the Hype House was born. The three were working on the house and they were working hard. They wanted to get as many famous influencers as possible on board with their idea, all while living together under the same roof. Well, the problems came when Petrou's aspirations grew. During many of the interviews they did with the New York Times, Forbes, and The Today Show, which were basically during the first few months of the creation of the Hype House, Petrou began excluding Keech from a lot of different activities. She even says that his manager pushed him to claim that he is the co-founder and one of the main guys behind the creation of the club. Keech, on the other hand, had no manager. And feeling a little intimidated during the whole interview, she decided not to talk too much. She figured Thomas will say that Chase, Keech, and himself were the three co-founders of this house, but that statement was nowhere to be found. She felt that even though she couldn't attend the meetings, Chase and Petrou in particular should have mentioned that she was the co-founder as well. She found out from her lawyer/manager that she's not mentioned as the co-founder in any of the videos. She was pretty vocal about leaving the Hype House, and she even made a video about this whole fiasco and Petrou's dictatorship. The video was posted only a few months ago, and it has received around 7.5 million views, with many of the fans supporting Keech and hating Thomas. But what you should know is that, in Thomas's defense, when he saw that Daisy Keach was making headlines with her video, Thomas Petrou immediately came up with a counterattack, or better yet, a counter-argument. He posted a video on the YouTube channel of the Hype House where he tried to talk about the subjects Keech touched on in her video. He initially claimed that the only reason he didn't include her or mention her as the co-founder of the Hype House was because he felt like she was slipping. She didn't want to post Instagram photos promoting their newly formed brand, and she didn't really care about the schedules. He began talking about how he tried to get everyone organized and make sure everyone got the message for the scheduled interviews with Forbes, the New York Times, and the Today Show. All of the members were there except for Daisy. He says that she took a vacation for an entire week, got back home in time for the interviews, and then she went on another vacation. This meant she had missed all of the interviews. But as Daisy pointed out, that doesn't give him the right to actually lie to the public and put himself in the spotlight. There's nothing wrong with having a strong work ethic. What's wrong is trying to impose your tyrannical order onto everyone else. Not everyone functions the same way as you. And even though his video has around 3.8 million views on YouTube, there are around 92,000 dislikes on his video, which means that many of the fans are actually taking Daisy's side of the argument. And who could blame them? We all know about some of the crazy rules stars of the Hype House must follow. That's right. Taking credit where credit is not due is not the only flaw with this manager/dictator. He's not only trying to take all the credit for an idea where numerous people were involved, he's trying to control everything. Speaking of control, Daisy has also tried to speak in the name of the other co-creators of this project. Even though they started it, there were many people that actually contributed so the Hype House could become what it is today, or what it once was. But whenever she wanted to talk to him about this issue, he would agree with her, nod his head, smile, and say things he thought Keech would want to hear. And then the second she was out of the room, Thomas would start pulling his usual shenanigans. And just to give you a little taste of how terrible he truly was, he's a guy that's deemed himself the manager of the Hype House. He controls all of the emails, and no one else has any control of the account. He is the sole person that can decide on the projects of this house. If someone's talking about a promotional product, then you better have him in mind, because the other members don't even know what's going on. None of them have any idea about how much they are making from the promotions. For example, if a client says that they will pay $3,000 for a paid promotion, Thomas will usually lie, tell the members the client gave him a lower sum, and then pocket the difference. Keech was not ashamed to point out that he has been making a ton of money, flexing his new Cartier bracelet, buying a $10,000 cat, and talking about buying a Tesla electric car. All of this while claiming the Hype House is not very profitable. Oh really? Not only is he controlling emails and managing the social media, he tells members what to do. He told Charli Damelio that she couldn't eat until she made a TikTok, so it's not all fun and games as it might seem. That exciting and fun personality seems to go down the same moment the camera does. And get this, he asked that every single member post at least 3 videos per day on the platform and promote the Hype House. Now, mind you, these are teenagers who have school duties, projects, family, and social life to take care of. That's kind of rude, man. Not to mention, while Keech was in the house, he contracted a renovations team to start redecorating the house without giving the landlord prior notice. This put Daisy's deposit at risk, because when they were actually signing the papers for the house, her name was one of the few that was listed there. Why? Because she was the only one who had a steady source of income from her TikTok account. Do you see how he even tried to sabotage his fellow co-stars? Guess he deserves to be called the TikTok tyrant. And on that note, we end this video. But hey, what do you think about Petrou and the Hype House? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys!